Hello, welcome back guys to episode 3 of map building in Marbles on Stream. Today we're going to go over lasers. Last video we went over all the obstacles and what they look like, what they do, and this has been requested quite heavily, writing with lasers. Now this one is it can look tricky to begin with, but once you get all the tips and tricks, it's quite easy once you get used to it. So this is the map we've been working on, what I've been showing examples of things on here. So we're going to start with this anyway. We're going to carry on. What you want to do, like I showed you in the past videos, how to drag and drop a laser on whatever piece you want to lock it to. Now remember, I will show you how to move the group's lasers later on, as depending on what you're writing, you may need to select it in a different way. Okay, so we drag and drop one laser. Alright, and now because this is decorative, we want to turn kill off. So no kill. Turn time until move down to 1. Laser movement speed down to 0. Put movement range down to 0 so it's not moving at all. Okay, now the laser at the moment is on the track. Now what I said before is the laser has to hit the track for it to show, or hit something for it to show. So you want to lift up the laser as far up as you can, or as far up as you want. Now, because we are going to be working on this, make sure you've got enough area, because we can move all this once we've done the writing. So move it up away from the track. There we go. So we have our little laser. Firstly, we want to do is make sure the laser is in line and straight, or as straight as we can get it. So click the rotate button around like this one here. So you get this, and you want to rotate the laser until you see it. There it is. Okay, so now we need to work on the angles and get it as straight as we possibly can for it to hit the track as well. Go around the laser and make sure it gets as straight as you possibly can get it. You may need to move it a little bit. Move it a bit around. Let's have a look at that. Just move it a little bit this way. Just work on using these arrows, the rotation arrows, to get it as straight as you possibly can. Okay, now we have our first laser. Now, depending on what you want to do with the lettering, who you want to make it for, if you just want to make depending on your cosmetic, remember you can change the colours of the lasers. For this purpose, we're just going to go with red, if the track is red. Select the laser arrows, the normal ones, to move them back and forth. Remember the trick that I told you before in the past videos? If you haven't watched those, we'll go over it again now. You want to hold Alt as you move it. So hold Alt and move down. Now that copies a laser in the exact same line that you had the first one. You can, because we have to go down, it can sometimes drift a little bit. So just move it back in line, make sure it's all good, as central as the other laser as you can. So now we have a line of laser. Okay, for the purpose of this video, we're going to write the word meow. Okay, so this laser at the bottom doesn't need to be facing down. So let's rotate it back to touch the top laser, and it should. There it is. Now it's hit the top laser, and it's still at a bit of a wonky angle, so you want to move it so you can barely see it. There we go. So now we have a line. Okay. Next one we want to do is the middle of the M. So let's change it to the arrows again. Let's get back in line with where we were. Remember, hold down Alt. Select the arrow that you want to move. Move it across. Move it down. And obviously, depending on what letter you want to type out, or write, well, not type out, but write out, all depends on your angles of the lasers. So let's just move that so it hits that laser. Just make sure it's all in line. That's a bit squiff, so we're going to move it with the blue slightly. Okay, so that's one part of the M. Now, We want this and this to be on this side so we can make the other side of the M. Now this is where selecting and highlighting and moving grouped lasers comes in handy. So hold down your shift button, select the top, bottom laser, change the arrow, hold down Alt, move them all together copied. That tip is really good for when you want to get symmetry in any part of map making. Now what we need to work on now is the spacing, okay? So we want to copy this laser and we don't need to move it as it's in one place. So have a look on this left hand side here where it says position underneath grid snapping on the top left. You'll see these two little boxes. One is copy to clipboard and one is paste from clipboard. With the laser that you want to copy selected, select copy to clipboard, hit copy over here around the laser, and that copies it in a different place. And we want it in the same place, so we just copied the position with the second laser still selected, click paste from clipboard, and that snaps it into the place where we copied. Now we need to work on our rotation to get it to this laser here on the right hand side. So let's work on that. Turn it round until it snaps to the other laser. And then look at your spacing. Okay, so the angle is a little bit off. So what we want to do is just move these to the left a little bit. Rotate the second laser. Oh, no, that's the first one. So if ever that happens, that you can't select the second laser because it's inside another one, hit the piece that you've locked the lasers onto, and if you go down this little list of attached obstacles on the right hand side, yeah, I'll just move it around so you can see because I was in the way, you can see it's starting to, it shows a green arrow on top of it. Now we want the middle one. We want the right middle one as there are two there. So let's see if that one's the right one. And it is. There we go. That looks okay. Okay, now we're going to work on the E. Okay, so we want these two again. So let's select these two to copy. Select the arrow. Hold down Alt. Move it to the right. Now we have a line. Now we need the middle part of the E. So we'll select the top laser. Hold down Alt. Move down to the middle of the line. Make sure it's in line. If not, check your angles and move it around a little bit. All depends on how symmetrical you want everything and how in line you want everything to be. Now we need to work on the other side of the E, so hold down Alt with the top laser, move it to the right, work on our rotation with the red, and snap it into place like that. Grab this laser that we just did so we get the same amount of distance from that laser to that laser and the bottom one as well. Hold down Alt, select the top arrow, move it down. Oh, I did not hold down Alt. Hold down Alt, select the top laser, move down. There we go. Now we need the middle laser. Hold that, get that one. Hold Alt, move ups. And then you can move it in, make it look like an E. Okay? I won't, now, it depends on what sort of font you want to do. Lots of different builders use different font. For this one, we're just doing basic. Obviously, the more intricate you want the font, the more lasers you're going to have to use. As well, for different letters as well, you're going to have to use more lasers. So like an S, for example, or an O, or... yeah, it all depends on what sort of style you want your text to be with the lasers. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do an O. This is quite tricky, but let's do the same tricks that we did. Hold down Alt, move across. Hold down Alt, move across. So that's going to be the middle of the O with these two. Okay. Now I'm going to grab this laser here in the middle of the M. Move it across, and then it gets to there. And then we're going to grab that one, move it down till it gets to there. We're going to rotate this one here so it hits this laser here. There we go. Move this laser till it hits this laser here. Shift and grab those two. Hold Alt, move them across. Again, you need to work on your spacing and angles. That's going to need to be moved a little bit more. Oh, I just copied it without meaning to. See, even I make mistakes, guys. Even I make mistakes. It's all trial and error with map building. Okay, so we have that. I might move it a little bit more across, so we're not getting so much of a big O. And we can obviously work on our angles again. There we go, move it up. Move these two in a bit more. Work on this angle here. Obviously, if I am going too fast, you can stop and pause the video at any point. Now let's grab these top two. Hold Alt, move them down to get in line with the bottom of the E. Now, again, because some of the lasers are already touching where we need them to touch, we do select this one, copy to clipboard, copy, paste from clipboard, angle it so it hits that one. Same with this one on the right hand side, because we need one to hit that one. We select that one, copy to clipboard, copy, paste from clipboard, and then angle it down. So that is our O. Now, with the W, sorry guys. All we need to do is copy the M. So how we do this again is you hold down Shift, left click, and you get this box. Copy to clipboard, copy, paste to clipboard. There we go. It's not going to be in the same position where if you're doing groups. That's why I wanted to show you that. Let's get it in place and move it along. There we go, and there's our meow. Now we want to move. Say that's not in the right place. If we want the word in a certain place. So now what we want to do is move this word to where we want it on our map. So hold down Shift, get the box, select the word and the start piece because it is locked to the start piece. While still holding down Shift, deselect the start piece, and that selects every single laser within that word without the start piece. Okay? So now we can move the whole word without any lasers being disconnected. Like this. And the start piece will not move. Okay? So let's put the meow. Whenever you open a map, it's going to open there. So let's just turn it round. Turn around the whole word. Move it. Oh, no, I did it again. So if ever that happens, history, undo. Okay? And that will go back to the last thing you did. There we go. Let's move it across. Move it down. And yeah, just put it in any position that you want. And there's our word. Any questions regarding that, please put them in the comments. We'll go over some different things in the future videos. But this one was highly requested, so I wanted to get through this one first as well. Thank you again for watching, and see you next time. Bye!